You'll enjoy it.
There. Okay.
All right.
So, welcome. And welcome back. Have you been back to the studio yet? Is this the first
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, came back.
Good.
Is there, I've been on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Great. This is my first time back because I taught, I guess on Sunday was the last time I taught, but it was from my
Yeah,
at that
yeah,
point,
because
it was
last
the
week
day
it was on
before.
Monday.
Yeah. Day before we opened. So.
Yes.
Good. So welcome, and I'll just invite you to find a place of rest for the next few minutes while we just lead you through a little bit of breath work, a short meditation. So if seated is good, that's great. If you feel like lying down, you can by all means lie down, stretch out, use any props that you like. And I'll just invite you, if you feel comfortable, to close down the eyes or soften the gaze, or just soften those eye muscles anyway. You might just lower your gaze if you don't feel like closing your eyes. Now begin to just arrive in the space. Allow yourselves to ease into this moment. Gently, with awareness, we'll start to give our awareness to our bodies. Tuning into the breath, with each breath, just following the air into and out of the lungs with the mind's eye. Tracing it with your mind's eye, feeling it as it enters, goes down, circulates in the lungs, and comes up, releases out through the nostrils or the mouth. If it helps you and you'd like to, you can always make a connection there, left hand to the heart, or just to the upper chest, right hand to the belly. You don't have to. There's different ways we can connect with our breath and our breathing. Imagine this air that you're breathing in. Your inhale, it cleanses, refreshes, fills you with good, positive energy. And with the exhales, you can release any tension or tightness or stress or anything that you might be weighed down with a little bit today. Maybe something you're conscious of or not conscious of. Think about the breath that way for a few more rounds. I'll just stop talking so you can connect. And if you want to deepen and lengthen the breath a little bit, you can do that. You don't have to make it too unnatural or add too much attention to the breath. Just whatever works for you. Maybe you feel now that there's been a slight shift since you arrived on your mat. Maybe you found a little bit of softness in the body, neck, shoulders, hips, belly, hands, just different places we tend to carry tension. Maybe you found a little bit more softness in those areas or other areas. Maybe there's a little bit more spaciousness in the mind here. You can always, throughout your practice and now, engage with a breath that you can listen to, your ujjayi breathing, if you like, maybe that slight constriction at the back of the throat, it's a great breath for just grounding and coming back to your practice, coming back to your breath, sometimes can help us find some strength in some poses where we're holding, something to focus on anywhere. And if you'd like to form an intention for your practice today, if that's something you like to do, then you could bring something to mind. Maybe it's something inspiring or just a thought to a personal goal or a way that you'd like to show up in the world or an emotion that you'd like to cultivate a little bit more of in your daily life. Maybe it's just the resolve to breathe and be present in your practice. Take a deep breath in, really ground into that intention, that thought, and mantra, word, or phrase, so that we can carry it with us on the mat and beyond. You can keep your eyes closed here as we start to gently move, or you can float them open whenever you like. Just start by lowering that head over to the right shoulder. Find a little length there. If it helps, you can extend your left arm out, maybe flexing the fingertips up toward the sky, maybe reaching them down towards the mat. Oh, nice stretch there on the left side of your neck. Gently draw the crown high back to center and then tilt the head over towards the left shoulder. So that left ear is a little closer to your left shoulder. And we'll try and keep the shoulders aligned. And you can take whatever variation you'd like, maybe that right arm is extended out a little bit. Keep the tips pointing up or down. Then we'll bring the head back up. Let's look up. We can keep the eyes closed. Tilt the chin up. Look to you, eyes can be open or closed. And then tip the chin down towards the chest. And hold here for a moment. Maybe you take the hands, interlace the fingers, place them behind the skull if you like. Not to really so much pull on the back of the head, but just to add a little bit to gravity here. Just the weight of your hands added to gravity to create some length there. And then release. Let's look up one more time. And come back to neutral, and then let's look right over the right shoulder. Take a breath here. And slowly come back through center, past center, looking to the left over the left shoulder. Let's do that one more time each side. And maybe here, just choose your favorite. You could repeat what we did, or you might find some semicircle rolls of the neck. Just a little bit more movement. Stretch through the neck. Another couple of breaths. You might do full neck rolls. That's part of your practice. And then there's always the opportunity to hold where you might need a little bit more of a stretch. And bring the crown back up tall. Take a moment just to ground down through the sit bones here. Make sure you've got a comfortable place. We'll be seated for a few more moments. So if you want to, you can always roll up a blanket, place it under the hips. And let's start to just draw the chest forward and back, coming into some seated cat-cows. And as we do so, we'll lengthen movement with the breath. So as we lean back, we'll find that exhale around the shoulders. And as you come forward, breathe in, fill the lungs. You might find that Ujjayi breath here, just any breath that you can listen to. Let's go one more forward and one more back. Back to a long spine. Let's switch the cross of the legs since we've had our legs crossed in that way. So take the opposite ankle in front. And let's lean over to the right. Walk the right fingertips out and reach your left arm up and over. Nice side body stretch here. So for this one, yeah, we're leaning to the left, but we're also pressing into that right palm and pushing back a little bit. So the hip bones, the sits bones are both connected to the mat still. It doesn't really matter how far over you lean, but more importantly that your shoulders are stacked, so give priority to that. So you might even just check in with your elbow and your shoulder, maybe rotate them open back a little bit. And let's just fold over that right thigh and knee. So bring your left hand down, walk the hands out. So you're leaning over. Again, almost you're leaning, but pressing into the palms as well if you find you're tilting up and off of your sit bones. Reach a little farther with the left fingertips. Walk them out a little bit. And walk the hands forward, nice arc, past the midline, all the way over to the left thigh and knee. Reaching out, maybe pulling a little bit with those right finger pads on your, just on the mat or on your. Slowly come up and we'll walk the left fingertips out from the left hip and find that side stretch. And take a couple nice big breaths here. Again, just checking with the shoulders that they're stacked. Feel the sun, feels nice and warm. Draw out to center here. Let's place the hands behind us. You might have your fingertips facing towards your hips, and you might have them out to the side, or you might have them facing back. I don't like to tell people what to do here. Some people like to do different things. So let's take the feet, bend the knees, take the feet just a little wider than hip distance or hip distance apart. We're going to press up to reverse tabletop. So glide the hips up. So they come up parallel to the knees. It's a nice shoulder opener. We're awakening the core, the glutes. Feel your hamstrings at work here. Take a couple of deep breaths. And then you can hold here for a couple more breaths, or you can ground down with your left foot and prepare to lift your right leg. And you can just lift it and hold, or you can straighten it, pressing the heel up towards the sky. Set it back down. On the other side, staying or lifting the left knee, and then extending that leg if you like. Turn that foot to the earth, and then we'll set the hips down. Let's find a boat pose. we're going to want to find that balance there, that tailbone and the sit bones helping you find a place to rest. You might take a moment just to hold behind the knees and find that length in the spine. So bring your chest forward, and then you can hold on, or if you want, you can release the hands. Try to maintain that length in the spine rather than rounding and curving. We take our hands as if we're holding a block if we don't have one. Holding on to it. I forgot to mention to have it nearby, so that's my fault. Sorry. If you have one, hold on to it. We'll just twist from side to side, tapping right, center, and then left. Just go at your own pace here. And if you want to, you can come back and hold on behind the knees. We're working our hip flexors as well as our abs here. So you might become tired in the hip flexors. You just want to bring the hands back. We'll go for about 3 more each side. To our last one. And then let's set the block aside, come forward, wrap your arms around your shins. Tip your chin down, keep a nice long spine. Take a couple of breaths here. Maybe we're warming up a little bit. My hands are still a bit cold, but the rest of me is warming up finally. Come back to our boat pose. And then from here, and again, you might want to hold behind the knees, or you can extend the arms. We're going to tap alternate toes down. So just tap the right, lift up, tap the left. Just alternate. Again, I'm reminding myself, so I'll remind you too, just to keep that long spine. It's tempting to round the shoulders a little bit, especially since we're in our second round here. A little bit fatigued in our boat pose. Let's try about 3 more each side. And let's extend the legs long in front. Find that length in the spine. And you might have a bend in the knees here. You might even want to encourage a bend in the knees and place like a rolled up towel under there or a bolster. We're going to take a forward fold. But it's still fairly early in our practice. We haven't done anything really with the hamstrings, so you might not need to come far forward. And that block or bolster cushion under the knees might feel good. Just find a forward fold. Find your breath again here. Breathe in and lengthen. And then fold a little bit farther, maybe with your exhale. Let's try that again. Breathe in, lengthen the spine a little bit. And fold again. Just walk the hands back up. One more here before we come to tabletop. Let's cross the right foot over the left thigh. And then you can stay here, you can wrap that lower leg as well. We're going to take a twist to see what works best for you. We're going to twist to the right. So just grab that maybe with the crook of your left elbow, maybe you hug your right knee, or maybe that elbow comes to the outside of the thigh. Get nice and tall on the spine, and then twist. So look over that right shoulder, take a couple of breaths here. Slowly unwind. Do that on the other side. So right leg can lengthen first of all, and then left leg will cross, and then you can decide whether you want to wrap that leg. And make sure you've got grounding there with both sit bones, and take your twist to the left this time. Nice and tall in the spine, and then look over your left shoulder. Let's unwind back to center. We'll find our way to a tabletop position. It's a good sign, yeah. Me too, just a little bit of warmth. It's good. All right, so from here, let's find some gentle spinal movements, cat cows, breathing in to drop the belly, easing up, and then breathing out to round the spine, going at your own pace with your own breath. And then once you've settled there, you might want to vary it a little bit so you can find your own creative cat cows. One more in each direction. And then we'll come back to neutral spine. Let's take the hips above the knees, just kind of keep them there as we walk the hands forward. Nice move back on my mat, so I have room to walk my hands forward. Keeping the hips high, we're coming into puppy pose here. So come down to your forearms and your forehead, maybe chest and chin, depends on what you're feeling like today. And we'll take 3 big breaths here, opening up across that upper back mostly. Walk the hands back up to table. Press back to a child's pose for a couple of breaths. Take the big toes together. The knees can be just as wide as you'd like. Again, forehead can come down to the mat, maybe a block or a bolster blanket. If you want to, you can try coming up onto tented fingers. See how that feels with the shoulders. And then let's return to our table. We'll extend the right leg back and then pick that leg up so the heel's in line with your head. And just take a moment here. I like to pause here because there's a lot happening. It's a stabilizing pose, so our core is working as we reach that right heel back, all the way up the hamstring is strengthening there, the glute is working. And let's extend the left arm forward, finding our spinal balance. Just take a moment to find your stability here, and we'll flow with the breath, breathing in, reaching, extending, and breathing out, rounding the spine, bring the elbow and the knee together. Now reach and exhale round at your own pace with your breath's rhythm. More extension. And then we'll bring the hand and the knee back down to the others. Wag the hips a little side to side if you like. And now we'll do the left side. So left leg will reach back, lifting the heel up, and just taking a moment here just to align the hips parallel to the earth. So we're not lifting the left hip higher. And then reaching back with that left heel so you're really engaging. And the core is working as well, all the way around the waistband. Reach your right arm forward. Have good stability and balance. You can begin to flow here with the breath, breathing in to extend, breathing out to round. More extension. And then release back to your table. Little movement of the hips. We're going to come up to our first downward facing dog. So tuck the toes, take the hips high, and then just explore here, find movement that feels good. Let's just make sure our heads are heavy, relaxing in the upper spine and neck. And then let's hold in our downward dog for a breath or two. So at this point, we're still pressing the heels toward the earth, not worrying about whether or not the heels actually make contact, giving priority more to the tailbone lifting toward the sky. And then let's raise the right leg behind, breathe in, three-legged dog, just briefly, and then step forward to a low lunge with your exhale. We'll ground that left knee. And then bring the arms overhead, maybe they come to the thigh first, and then the child. Start some arm circles here. So with the breath, as you lean forward, exhale, inhale, lean back. Full circle. Hands come down to the earth. Reach down there and send the hips back, finding your half splits. So lengthening the right leg, drawing the toes towards the shins, sending the right hip back, but keeping a nice long spine. And if you have blocks, and they might come in handy here underneath the hips. Let's return to our low lunge. Come forward so the knees above the ankle. Ground the hands. Tuck the left toes. We're going to step back to a plank here. Now you can take your plank from the toes, so you can take your plank from your knees, but we're really going to connect here with our strong core. So if you're in high plank, you can shift back and forth a little bit if you like. That's nice for the toes. Let's take 2 more full breaths. Sorry. We'll lower right down to our bellies. So nice and slowly, bend the elbows, soften down, and press up to a back bend. So that might be a Sphinx or any maybe a low level cobra or mid level cobra. And we'll focus on strengthening the low back rather than pressing and forcing too much flexibility. So hands are helping here, obviously, but we're using the strength of your low back to hold. Soften down. We're going to press up to a downward facing dog. So coming through table or your tall plank, take the hips high. Take a breath here. And then let's raise the left leg up high, breathe in, three-legged dog. And as you exhale, stepping that left foot forward between the hands, your low lunge. Take the right knee to the earth. And then when you're ready, feel, bring the arms up high. And take those circles going in the opposite direction this time. So with your inhale, lean back, sweep the arms back. Exhale, circle forward. This time arms come high, and next time they come low, bring the hands to the earth. Tuck those right toes, send the left leg back. We're going to take another few breaths in our plank. This time, if you're choosing to be in high plank from the toes, we'll just tap the knees down alternately. So right and then left. Two more each side. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take two breaths here, side out if you like. And then let's look to the top of our mats, make our way up. Feet towards the hands, forward fold, rag dog, your version. So find a comfortable stance, maybe swaying, just feeling the belly against the thighs, gentle bend in the knees, or a generous bend in the knees. And the head's heavy. And we'll find stillness, come to a halfway lift, find length in the spine, make the hands come to the shins and maybe your fingertips. And fold, exhale on the fold. Do that one more time, breathing in, halfway lift. Exhale, release. And unwind the spine as you breathe in, all the way up to standing. Don't bring your arms overhead to tall mountain. Practice the arms with your exhale. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Reach high once more, breathe in. And exhale the palms to the heart. Let's move through some sun salutations. Breathe in, sweep the arms high. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Breathing out to fold, palms to the earth, stepping back to plank from the knees or from the toes. Take a breath in here. And then exhale, you to lower. You can come all the way down or halfway down. Breathe in to find a back bend. And then downward facing dog with your exhale. Take two breaths. And then stepping, walking, or floating forward to the top of your mat. Breathing in, halfway. Breathing out to fold. And a big breath in as you slowly rise to stand. The arms high overhead. Exhale, palms to the heart. Inhale, sweep the arms high. Exhale, dive forward. Halfway lengthen, breathe. Hold as you breathe out, plant the palms, stepping back to your version of plank, and taking your flow here, your vinyasa, exhaling, and then inhaling to back bend. When you're ready, exhale, downward facing dog. One breath here. Look forward, float, or step forward. Halfway lengthen, breathe in. Exhaling to fold. Inhaling to rise. Exhale, palms to the heart. And let's take one in our own pace now. Right back here. So you can follow me if you like. I will cue. Just go through your own sun salutation here. Let's take a moment while we're here and just find firm grounding with the feet, maybe hip distance apart, and just let the upper body sway while keeping your core sort of twisting from the navel up. So your core is working here, just sort of shaking things out. And mobility there in the upper back. And come back. Hands at the heart. And then reach high. Lie forward, exhale. Halfway lengthen, breathe in. And folding, stepping back with your exhale to your plank. Finding more vinyasa and downward facing dog. And if ever you want to just come to downward facing dog rather than taking so many chaturangas, you're welcome to do that. So from our down dog here, we'll raise the right leg up, three-legged dog. Take a moment, roll through your ankle on the right side. Both directions. And then let's bend the right knee and then stack the hips towards the right side of your mat. Draw your heel in close to your glute and open that right hip as you press evenly between both palms. Back to three-legged dog. Level the hips and reach the leg behind you. Breathe in. As we breathe out here, we're going to take our right elbow and right knee to meet. So come forward to plank, bring your right knee towards your right elbow as you exhale. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee towards the chin or the nose, knee to center. Inhale, reach it high. This time, right knee to left elbow. Hold for a moment, and then we're going to find our fallen triangle. So extend your right leg. Take grounding there with your right palm and reach your left arm up. Hold here for a couple breaths, or you can take a couple dips with me if you like. Dipping the hips down and raising them up. 2 more times down, and up, lower down, and then up. We're going to come right back to our downward facing dog. 3-legged dog, raise your right leg high. Take a breath in and raise that right heel a little higher. As you exhale, step forward here, setting up for our high lunge. So stay high in the left toes. Knees high. As you're ready, bring your arms up. So take a moment just to find a nice deep lunge, pressing back and lengthening your back leg, softening through the shoulders and the neck. Breathe in. As you breathe out, lean forward, sweep the arms back, airplane lunge. Hold and exhale. As you inhale, rise back to high lunge. Last time, exhale, lean forward. Inhale, high lunge. And from here, we're going to step forward, taking weight into the right leg. And we're going to try to keep that left knee lifted. So you can step in a little bit first if you like. And we're just trying here. So step forward, trying to bring that left knee up, kind of a version of standing stack here. And if you like, the option to extend your left leg for breath. Back. We're going to find our tree pose from here. So the toes can come to the earth, heel resting on your inner thigh, inner ankle, foot can come to your calf, or maybe inner thigh. Hands can come to prayer, or they can come to reverse prayer, or rest opposite elbows, or rise overhead. And if you come out, no big deal. Slow breath here. To release, we're going to do the same thing. Bring your hands to prayer instead of setting the foot down, maybe. Bring the knee back forward. Take a moment here. We're going to step way back to a high lunge. So step that left foot way back. Bring your arms high. Just take a moment to adjust your stance. And then we'll flow, bringing the hands down, bringing that foot. You can either come right to down dog or take a vinyasa from the plank. Lean it down facing dog. Take 2 breaths here. And then let's raise the left leg up. Take a breath or 2 as we rotate through the left ankle, both directions. Always my left ankle, you'll hear. Probably hearing it on camera too. And then bend the left knee, stack the hips towards the left side of the mat. Just keep the head heavy through all of this, pressing evenly between both hands, but drawing that left heel towards your left glute. Knees high. We'll come back to that 3-legged dog, evening the hips, leveling them parallel to the earth. Breathe in, raise the left heel a little higher, and as you breathe out, left knee is going to come forward towards left elbow in your plank. Inhale, reach it up high. Exhale, knee towards the center, now the nose or the chin. Inhale, reach it back. And that twist now, left knee towards the right elbow and hold for a breath. And then extend the leg out, finding your fallen triangle. Transfer your weight to your left hand, reaching your right arm up. So try to ground that right foot, the whole sole of the foot connected there. And you can hold or take those 3 dips with me if you'd like. On the exhale, dip the hips down. Inhale, bring them up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Last time. Place your right hand down, come back to your down dog, and then your three-legged dog, lifting your left heel up high. Exhale, we'll step forward, setting up for a high lunge. And just relax the shoulders, press back with your right heel, sink into your left knee. Gazing forward, breathing in here, breathing out to lean forward, sweeping the arms back. Now relax. Exhale, lean forward, high, lean out. That's fine. From here, you might want to step the right foot in just a little as we prepare to come into that balancing posture with our left leg supporting here. So we're bringing the right knee forward, hands to the heart. Step down there. It's just practice, right? And we just sort of set our sights on doing something and we try. Extend the right leg forward if you like. And come back to that bent knee. When you're ready, you can find your tree posture on the side. Might be the same as the other side, or it might be different. Sometimes for me, it's a little different on the right than the left. And just find a place you'd like your arms to be high or low or behind or apart. And one more breath here in your tree posture. Bring the hands to the heart and the knee back up. Preparing to step way back with that right foot, finding our high lunge once more. And then we'll bring the hands down. Step back to your plank. You can either come into your down dog or take a final chaturanga here. And we'll take a breath in our down dog. We're going to set up for pyramid pose. Or sorry, a pigeon. We're going to come into pigeon. Get into the hips a little bit here towards the end of our practice. So raise the right leg up. We'll start with that side. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, bring that right knee forward towards the right wrist. Walk the left leg back as you set your shin across the mat. Be in this posture, you come onto your spine, of course, cross your right ankle over your left knee, find your reclined pigeon. So get tall on the spine first. And you can stay here if you want, or you can walk the hands forward. Sometimes a block under the forearms is nice. Maybe you come right down to the earth. Let's settle in for maybe 6 or 8 breaths here. Let's take 8 breaths here. Nice long breaths. And soften the shoulders, soften the jaw. That way we can just focus on sending the breath figuratively, like with the mind's eye. It sometimes helps sending the breath to areas where there might be some tension. Right now for me, it's that outer hip. Time for 2 more full breaths. And then when you're ready to release, slowly press with your palms into the mat, lifting your arms. We'll tuck the left toes, knee back in our down facing dog. Take time for a little movement there in the right ankle, knee, and hip joint. It feels good. Coming back to our downward dog, ready for the other side. Left leg raises up, breathe in. On the exhale, bring the knee forward to that left wrist. Should also mention sometimes a block or rolled up blanket underneath the, like on this side of the left hip. This helps even the hips up. So try to reach tall through the spine, level the hips. And then walk your hands forward in and out. And like any posture, like I mentioned with the tree, one side might look a little bit different, and the other side might feel a little different. So just observing that, being compassionate, adjusting where needed, settling in, soften the jaw and the shoulders. Take some deep breaths. And for another couple of full breaths here. As you're ready, just pressing up the hands, tucking the left toes. Take the left leg back. Find some movement here. Downward dog, three-legged dog. And let's come back to downward dog. One breath here. I'm going to walk the hands forward. Bring that right foot just wide behind the right wrist. And the left foot behind the left wrist. Toes might be a little wider than heels. We'll find our Anahata squat. So sinking the hips, bring the hands to prayer. If it helps you to have a block underneath the tailbone, you can do that. And you can also come to seated, come into butterfly pose. It's another option. 2 full breaths here. Soften down to a seat here. Keeping the knees bent, but just centering yourself on your mat. We're going to lower right down to our spines. Take it nice and slowly, engaging your core as you go down. Releasing, almost feeling each vertebra individually beneath the mat. Here, take your favorite version of supine twist. So maybe you bring the knees together and float them down over to the right. Maybe you lengthen your right leg and then use your right hand to guide your left knee over to the right. Maybe you cross the thighs. As you come into your twist, just decide whether or not you'd like to gaze over to the left if your knees are to the right. See how that feels with the neck, and then check in with your shoulder blades. So ideally here, chest is still facing the sky, we're just stacking the hips and twisting from the navel down. And a couple full breaths here. We don't have to let the breath become too shallow. Even though we are a bit compressed there in the abdominal area, we can still breathe into that area deeply. Take the time you need to slowly come out here back to center, maybe beginning by bringing your gaze back to neutral and then rolling onto both hips. And then find your twist to the other side. Just take your time to place yourself carefully. Check in with those areas I mentioned, like the shoulder blades, the neck. And the breath. Last breath here. Unwinding slowly. Let's take a full body stretch. Reach the arms overhead, reach the legs down. Opposite direction. Taking a big breath in. And with your exhale, softening, finding your place of rest for your final posture here of our practice, your Shavasana. Taking time to set yourself up with props and blankets and warm clothing, and the body temperature might drop a little bit. Allow your breath to be natural. Allow all of the facial muscles to soften, including also the muscles in the, we often don't think about the muscles in the scalp, and the hairline, temples. Take a moment to just make sure the spine's nice and long. Maybe you tuck the chin gently, pushing your hips in the opposite direction. Breathing easily here with gentleness. Just breathing in and breathing out. All you have to do here is breathe. Feeling that sensation of the breath moving through the body. Soften, relax. Just allow yourself to rest here in balance and rest in being. As you begin to release your Shavasana, just do so with gentleness, your own intuition as to which small movements you'd like to begin with. It might just be swallowing once or twice, or rolling the eyes behind the lids, rocking the head gently side to side, and allow the rhythm to grow. You might take time for a couple of breaths, rolling over to one side before pressing up to a seat. Take time for a breath here together in unison, raising our arms up as we breathe in. Fill the lungs. Exhale, draw the palms to the heart. Tip the chin down. Now it's a final moment to go inward. Just take some time and space here for your own reflections. Maybe there's an inspirational thought. Maybe recall your intention that comes to mind. Thank you for being here in the studio and online. Hope you all have